Right now, the scramble to evacuate Afghanistan is matched only by the speed with which the Taliban is taking over. The president says there's no solution if Afghans won't fight for themselves.
Meanwhile, Wisconsin is preparing to protect thousands of Afghan refugees. We're hearing from a Madison group that's racing to keep up with an expedited timeline.
Also, a shooting that killed a Madison student was one of several gun-related crimes over the weekend, renewing a push to limit violence after a record-setting year. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
After 20 years, I've learned the hard way that there was never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces.
President Biden standing firm on his decision to pull the U.S. out of Afghanistan. The president made those comments late this afternoon as the Taliban invaded another major Afghanistan city overnight.
They captured the country's capital of Kabul. The chaos is continuing in the country as thousands of people are trying to escape the violence in Afghanistan. At least 7 people were killed this morning as thousands rushed onto the tarmac at the Kabul airport. And the president of Afghanistan has fled the country.
Afghanistan political leaders gave up and fled the country. The Afghan military collapsed. American troops cannot and should not be fighting in a war and dying in a war that Afghan forces are not willing to fight for themselves.
A spokesman for the U.S. general in charge of evacuations says he met face-to-face with Taliban officials, warning them not to interfere with the evacuation efforts.
The military could be relocating tens of thousands of Afghans looking to live in the U.S. According to the Pentagon, the Department of Defense may relocate up to 30,000 of them to Fort McCoy in Wisconsin, as well as Fort Bliss in Texas. Many of them worked with the U.S. during the war and say they will likely be targeted now that the Taliban has taken control of the country. The Defense and State Departments confirmed they will accelerate the evacuations of those applicants. Along with Homeland Security, they'll work to push visas through the system and get applicants cleared through security. Organizations right here in Madison are preparing to take in Afghans as well.
Jewish Social Services provides assistance to refugees and their families. And our Jamie Perez spoke with them today to see how they're preparing to help these people coming into Wisconsin. Jamie?
Well, one of the main things they do is help house the refugees with fully furnished apartments, but they usually have several months' notice. This time, they only have a few days, if that. The executive director told me for right now, they're finding them rooms at extended stay hotels until they can find a more permanent solution. Now, when they heard about the chaos and the tragedy happening overseas, they wanted to do whatever was necessary to help where they could.
We spent 20 years asking for their help in the fight in Afghanistan, and with the pullout that's happening right now, people are desperate, and it's only right.
Now, obviously, providing all of these resources for the refugees does get expensive, so they're looking for some volunteers to help and financial donations if you're able. I have a link on how you can help them, help these refugees online at channel3000.com.
All right, Jamie, thank you. A sunny and seasonable start to the week, but the humidity, well, it's heading back to southern Wisconsin. Let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast. Here's Dana on the weather patio.
It's starting to get just a little more muggy outside, but not quite yet. This evening, things look beautiful for us. Here's a live look at Platteville. A lot of sunshine, a few isolated clouds, mostly sunny for Madison right now. And temperature-wise, we're sitting in a really great spot. Now, our Doppler track has been a quiet image all weekend. That is going to continue for this evening and as we look ahead to the next few days. 77 right now, Madison, 81 in Janesville, about 79 in Monroe. Compared to this time yesterday, overall sitting in a very similar spot, plus or minus a degree or two. Dew points in the mid to low 50s for most of southern Wisconsin. A little bit higher than yesterday, but then again, just a degree or two higher for us. Not a big jump. The big increase really doesn't start for us until Tuesday. Wind speed should stay in the single digits, so overall a quiet trend for this evening. Tomorrow, again, a little more humid. High temperatures will be in the low 80s. We'll see our dew points likely climb to the upper 50s, close to 60, so a little more humid. That continues into Wednesday, but our next rain chance really won't build in until the end of the week and the weekend. We'll take a closer look at your full 10-day in just a few minutes.
All right, Dana, thank you. Madison police are searching for whoever shot and killed a high school student over the weekend.
That teen's death was one of several investigations for Madison police that involved guns in the last few days. Brad Hamilton live near Camp Randall tonight to explain how the city is looking beyond police to try to stop the violence. Brad.
Well, we know Madison police were busy this weekend confirming a homicide right here, but now we know that they were called out to at least 2 other calls of shots fired in the area. Now, at about 1:15 a.m., they did find at least 1 shell casing on Atwood Avenue, and then they responded to the intersection of Lake and State Street to reports of a man with a gun. This weekend's homicide was the 5th confirmed this year in the area. As of right now, police are responding to calls of shots fired 12% less at this point in 2021 compared to the same time last year. Just a few weeks ago, Public Health Madison and Dane County relaunched their Violence Prevention Coalition to keep those numbers trending downward. Their mission is to continue attacking this issue with extensive data and treat it with the proper resources.
Public health is not going to be the sole answer, and it's not going to be the immediate answer, but we're providing the framework and the coordination to make that happen.
The coalition calls Madison's gun violence situation a public health crisis. Now, remember, when we hear the words public health crisis, we think about the current pandemic or another health matter. But that's why the coalition wants to re-emphasize that they do believe that this gun violence is an issue and it affects the entire community. Reporting live tonight here in Madison, Brad Hamilton, News 3 Now.
Brad, thank you. A former Madison high school teacher accused of secretly videotaping undressed students during field trips in Wisconsin and Minnesota pleaded guilty in federal court. 39-year-old David Crutchin faces 6 to 20 years in prison after pleading guilty to 2 federal charges. Sentencing has been set for October 22nd. In Minnesota, Crutchin still faces 3 counts of interfering with the privacy of a minor. Crutchin told a judge that he wanted to see students undressed and had been setting up cameras compulsively.
The trial date has been set for one of the teens charged in the death of 11-year-old Anissa Scott. 18-year-old Jerry Ward charged with first-degree intentional homicide and attempted first-degree intentional homicide as a party to a crime. Jury selection is scheduled for next May 31st. The 7-day trial set to start June 1st of 22. Last week marked the 1-year anniversary of the shooting that ultimately took the young girl's life.
A seemingly simple change to one word could lead to significant cultural changes in Dane County.
Yeah, that's the goal of Sheriff Calvin Barrett, who announced the language change today, just shy of 100 days on the job. Naomi Coles joins us with more. Naomi.
Instead of inmates, the sheriff's office will officially change their terminology to call people inside the jail residents or persons in our care. Now, this shift comes with hopes of larger outcomes.
How one views themselves matters.
Dane County Sheriff Calvin Barrett says the shift from inmate to resident is a policy change that sheriffs around the country are already doing.
This proactive approach to our criminal justice reform is going to allow us to help move towards a 21st century policing mindset in which we treat everyone within our community with dignity, respect, and humanity.
He says it's part of an evolving set of policies designed to humanize and respect the jail population.
So changing the name of inmate to residents give people a sense of belonging.
State Representative and Dane County Supervisor Sheila Stubbs says this is a shift she supports dating back to her own time as a parole officer.
When we give them a place of belonging and we call them residents instead of an inmate, or call them resident instead of offender, because they may have offended one person, but doesn't mean they've offended everyone.
Language is important to the new sheriff. For example, the term peace officer. The Dane County Sheriff's website was updated to read, quote, the largest peace officer agency in Dane County. That's a change from, quote, the largest law enforcement organization in Dane County. I found that on an archived website version from April under Dave Mahoney's tenure.
As a sheriff, are working towards ensuring that everyone in our care is in a facility and in an environment that is treating them with dignity, humanity, and respect.
The story of humanizing the jail's population begs a larger question. What about the 2 top floors of this building behind me? Those floors have been slated for closure. They're outdated and unsafe. They've been slated for closure for years. It's been plagued by ballooning cost, county inaction. A county board member said today that a third-party organization is reviewing the new building plans to try and keep that project on budget.
Continue to follow it. Naomi, thank you. The Alliant Energy Center is the newest place that will be requiring proof of vaccination at its events. Starting tomorrow, the Alliant Center will require proof at its indoor ticketed events at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Anyone ineligible for the vaccine because of their age will have to provide a copy of a negative COVID-19 test that is not more than 72 hours old and wear a mask while inside the Coliseum. The Alliant Energy Center will also encourage attendees to wear masks at all events. FPC Live, the promoter behind some of Madison's largest and most popular live entertainment venues, will now require printed proof of vaccination or same thing, a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours of entry for all of its local venues. The new policy applies to High Noon Saloon, the Majestic Theater, the Orpheum Theater, and the Sylvie. Kids under the age of 12 who are currently ineligible for vaccination will be required to provide a negative test within 72 hours of entry.
And it took less than a week, but officials at UW Health say overwhelming demand has led to all of their spots being full in Moderna's upcoming pediatric COVID-19 vaccine trial. The phase 3 clinical trial will be conducted at the American Family Children's Hospital. It'll include 3 age groups: kids 6 months old to 2 years, kids 2 to 6 years old, and those who are 6 to 12 years old. Some children in the trials will receive the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. Others will receive a placebo. Children under the age of 3 may be more likely than older children to spread COVID-19 within their families. The article from JAMA Pediatrics contradicts earlier studies that suggested young children were less likely to spread the virus. The authors believe their research could better reflect the real-world risk at the moment as schools start to reopen. Researchers from Public Health Ontario and Canada studied the spread of COVID-19 in more than 6,200 households. While they found older children often actually brought the virus home, the toddlers were the ones more likely to spread the virus to other family members.
Over 600 people were vaccinated at the state fair this year. Governor Tony Evers says in 11 days, 608 doses of a vaccine were administered. AMI Expeditionary Healthcare put on the vaccine clinic. They offered the Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson vaccines.
Pfizer touting its COVID booster shots, claiming they work well against coronavirus and also its variants. Today, Pfizer and BioNTech said it sent its initial data on those boosters to the FDA. Pharmaceutical companies say their findings support the use of a booster dose for its COVID-19 vaccine. Researchers say the additional dose significantly raises a person's antibody response and can equally protect against the virus's initial strain as well as the Delta and Beta variants. Pfizer executives say they believe a COVID booster will be needed soon, but health officials say they see no indication that a dose is needed just yet.
Vaccine rates are slowly increasing in Wisconsin. Right now, 50.1% of Wisconsinites have completed their vaccine series, and in Dane County, over 68% of residents have completed the vaccine series, while over 71% have had at least one shot.
The death toll rising after that earthquake rocked Haiti over the weekend. Why more tragedy could be coming to that country? That's ahead at 5.
How a golfing goal for some local boys is helping out local charities. We'll explain. That's coming up tonight at 6.
And mixed results on Wall Street. The Dow surging more than 110 points. The Nasdaq falls 29. The S&P adds a dozen. And we'll be right back.
Erectile dysfunction for men of all ages has become much more common. In fact, most men don't realize that 90% of erectile dysfunction is a direct result of broken down old blood vessels. This causes a lack of blood flow that is critical when achieving an erection. With our state-of-the-art technology, we're able to stimulate new stem cell growth right in our office with no pills, no needles, no surgery, and no pain.
To book your consultation and get back to natural functionability, call Peak Performance for Men today.
Give your bathroom a fresh update with 11% off everything at Menards. Create your dream bathroom with Lion's great selection of bathtubs, shower bases, and surrounds to fit your style and budget. All Lion's bathing products are 11% off. Prevent damage from excess moisture with a new Broan bath fan. Broan bath fans are both functional and beautiful. All 11% off. Finish all of your projects with 11% off everything now at Menards. Save big money at Menards.
If you can afford to launch yourself into space, you can pay your fair share in taxes. But billionaires and big corporations have avoided paying taxes for years. President Joe Biden's plan makes the rich pay their fair share so we can cut taxes for families with children and create millions of good jobs. Tell Senator Ron Johnson to stop putting billionaires ahead of the middle class. If you can afford to joyride in space, you can pay your fair share.
Is your credit score getting in the way of things you want to do? Personal loans through NetCredit help you borrow up to $10,000. So check your eligibility on netcredit.com today without affecting your credit score. You may even be able to build your credit history as you repay. NetCredit, a more personal loan.
Time for me to drive.
Roll down the windows, turn up the radio, and discover all that Illinois has to offer. Find your road trip at enjoyillinois.com.
No more Freon for your AC. Oh no, the homeowner's called Action Man and his action team.
Call on Action Plumbing, Heating, and Electric at iwantactionnow.com.
Tuesday on News 3 Now this morning, we'll share how the Boys and Girls Club plans to distribute all those school supplies we've collected.
And Chris Reese will get you ready to walk out the door bright and early, starting at 4:30 on News 3 Now this morning.
Wind, thunderstorms, lightning, severe weather is going to happen. The question is, will it be in your path? And how's it going to affect you? First Warn Weather, your certified most accurate forecast team, takes action when severe weather threatens, alerting you with First Warn Weather alerts, pinpointing where the dangers are and where the storms are headed. On air, online, and on social media. Trust Madison's certified most accurate First Warn Weather, keeping you ahead of the storm. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The death toll is rising in Haiti after a 7.2 magnitude earthquake hit the country Saturday, and more misery is on the way. Right now, over 1,400 people are dead, and the death toll is expected to rise. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the injured, 6,000 and counting right now. They're tending to patients outside. Meanwhile, the tropical system named Grace is heading for the island tonight. The U.S. National Hurricane Center forecasts up to 15 inches of rain in some parts of Haiti. Haiti's ambassador to the U.S. says the interim government in that country needs to step up and build a stronger nation.
We cannot avoid any earthquake, but at least when the earthquake comes, there will be better resistance of those buildings and every other infrastructure. So they won't collapse like a house of cards.
Aid workers are arriving in Haiti, but gang activity has made travel for them challenging. Philanthropy experts say fundraising is also proving difficult because of the presidential assassination and accusations that money raised during the 2010 earthquake did not reach the people who needed it the most.
At least 22 people were injured today in Mexico City after a building exploded. According to the head of government there in Mexico City, 6 of them were taken to a hospital. Authorities believe there was a gas leak in the second floor, which led to the explosion. They also claim that 300 people from nearby buildings were evacuated as a safety precaution.
Since 1990, about 1,000 children have died in hot cars, and more incidents are happening again this summer. The advocacy group Kids and Cars says 14 children have died in hot vehicles so far this year. There are ways to prevent this kind of tragedy. You can put your phone, wallet, or purse in the back seat with the child, which will serve as a reminder. And it's also important to set up alerts with your child's school or daycare.
Your child doesn't arrive at that specific time, that they're giving you a phone call to see where your child is.
Several newer cars have technology that alerts the driver a child is in the back seat, and there is currently legislation in Congress that would make the warning mandatory in all new vehicles.
Well, after an absolutely beautiful weather weekend across southern Wisconsin, a look at the week ahead. Here's Dana Fulton joining us. Dana?
We got to enjoy some really nice weather Saturday and Sunday. Right now, still pleasant outside. Here's a live look at Madison with our Edgewater Skycam. A crystal clear blue sky and some really mild temperatures for this evening currently sitting at about 77 for us right now, with dew points in the mid-50s. Now tomorrow we'll see those dew points climb up just a little more, but overall it's still going to feel like a pretty nice summer stretch for the start of this work week. Doppler track has been quiet today throughout the state. That'll continue also for the next few days. Our next opportunity for rain doesn't really build in until the end of the week. Our humidity increasing a little bit for Tuesday and then again for Wednesday. Our dry pattern holds on for the next several days. We have sunshine for most of the week, but again, that rain pattern starting to develop a little higher for us as we get towards the end of the week. We'll take a closer look at what's ahead with Friday and Saturday in just a second. Our future track overnight, mostly clear skies. Temps will fall to the mid to upper 50s for overnight lows. Tomorrow, with our breeze coming in from the south, it increases our dew points just a little bit more for tomorrow afternoon. High temperatures will be in the low 80s. Dew points, though, will be in the upper 50s, close to 60 for Tuesday. Wednesday, we start the day off in the mid to low 60s, so we don't drop as much for our overnight lows. Afternoon highs will be in the low 80s again. And to the east, the Milwaukee area might see a little bit of a lake effect breeze there, a little isolated shower or two towards Milwaukee, but our rain chance really holds off until we get into late Friday and then for Saturday. Friday likely having a variably cloudy sky, so the cloud coverage builds in front of this rain chance. We're looking at a line of showers building in late Friday overnight and into early Saturday morning. As that line pulls away, I think the back half of Saturday right now looking fairly clear for us. Heading into Sunday, we should also hold on to those partly sunny skies. So the second half of the weekend currently looking like the best opportunity to really spend some time outside. For tomorrow, partly sunny, warm, and a little more humid. High temperatures will be in the mid to low 80s, pretty close to average, maybe a degree or two above average, and again, a little bit of an increase in our dew points for tomorrow. We will be in the mid to low 80s for Tuesday and for Wednesday. Now Wednesday and Thursday, as our high temperatures climb a little more into the mid 80s, playing on our heat index readings getting closer to 90. That's where we'll stay for Friday in the mid 80s, with a chance for showers and thunderstorms building in late Friday. That stays into early Saturday, and behind that system we'll see a bit of a pullback in our temperatures in the low 80s for Saturday and Sunday. That's where we'll stay for afternoon highs into the start of next week, where we'll have a few more rain possibilities starting to build in by the middle of next week. As far as traffic conditions go right now, things overall looking pretty smooth downtown, but the Beltline, we do have a few stop-and-go spots. Delays east and westbound. No accidents to report, but more folks hopping on the road, so things slowing down just a little bit, especially westbound closer to Fish Hatch. Once we get closer to the interstate, though, things pick back up along the Beltline. Fortunately, my map taking a little bit of its time to, was traveling westbound along the Beltline to get its time to load. East or north and southbound along the interstate on 39 and 90 in Rock County and in Dane County right now. We're not seeing any delays. That's good news on the interstate. Things should be nice and smooth. From the Beltline to Janesville, we're sitting close to 26 minutes, 16 minutes to get from Middleton to Sauk City, and the drive from downtown to Sun Prairie, pretty close to average. This evening, sitting close to 19 minutes. That's a quick look at traffic.
Dana, thank you. Fans are coming back to Camp Randall this fall, but will they be required to wear masks? We'll have details on that decision ahead at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Since 1976, Feldco stood the test of time.
It's Feldco's 45th anniversary! Time to get down!
To celebrate Feldco's 45th anniversary, get 45% off windows today. That's cause for a celebration.
45% off windows won't last long. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Can you get this? I don't have my wallet.
Oh, really? It's funny how that always happens.
Yeah, it's funny.
With BMO Harris, you don't need your wallet. You can get money from any BMO ATM using your phone.
Uh-oh, looks like someone can buy their own tacos.
You could also pay them back with Zelle.
So many ways for you to pay.
Awesome.
Order for BMO.
Ooh, tacos, banking. Some things are made to be mobile.
That feeling you get when your phone is your wallet. That's the BMO effect. And right now, open a new BMO Harris account online in just 5 minutes.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom.
You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
Important healthcare announcement. If people tell you your TV is too loud, or if listening in some environments has become difficult, we are requesting your participation in a special program called the 30-Day Challenge. Hearing Life Hearing Centers are seeking people with hearing difficulties to evaluate a new digital mini hearing aid now being released. To take part in this event, you must call. Please get a pencil and write down the number below. All people with hearing aids or hearing difficulties are wanted to take part in the 30-Day Challenge, evaluating a new high-tech device that sits discreetly behind your ear. This hearing aid is Bluetooth enabled and is rechargeable. All hearing assessments are performed at no charge for those taking part in the challenge. Participants will try these hearing aids for 30 days. Call the number below and take the Hearing Life 30-Day Challenge.
New jets, new yachts, new hobbies. The ultra-rich got ultra-richer during the pandemic because Republicans in Congress have been working for them, protecting loopholes for tax-dodging billionaires instead of helping working people who'd benefit from a fair share tax plan that Republicans are trying to block. And Ron Johnson's one of them. The rich don't need new jets, but Wisconsin does need a new senator. MoveOn.org. Political Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
This just into our newsroom. Fans attending football games at Camp Randall will be required to wear masks inside Camp Randall Stadium this fall, but not outside when you're in the stands at the stadium. All fans, vaccinated or not, will have to wear masks when you are in an indoor area of Camp Randall. This means that fans will have to wear masks inside restrooms, suites, and club seating, as well as Buc-ee's locker room. But masks will not be required in outdoor spaces. However, they are strongly encouraged.
When the football teams ranked this week, a lofty ranking in the AP Top 25 preseason poll. Badgers coming in at number 12. You may recall last week they were 15th in the coaches poll. Alabama, Oklahoma, Clemson, Ohio State, and Georgia. That's the top 5. And 5 Big Ten teams made an appearance in the preseason poll. If you're looking to head to a game at Camp Randall, single game tickets for Badger football now on sale. You can find them at uwbadgers.com. Wisconsin taking on Penn State. That's the home game, the season opener, September 4th.
And the Badger volleyball team is coming in as the second-ranked team in the nation. The only team ranked above the Badgers is Texas, who they lost to in the Final Four last year. The Badgers will have their red-white scrimmage this Friday before hosting TCU next Friday, August 27th at the UW Fieldhouse.
Stay with us for a final check of your First Warn forecast in just a moment.
Ingredients for a healthy lifestyle can be tricky. That's why SSM Health and News 3 Now are here to help.
Our Time for Kids recipe for health experts use online conversations and on-air reports to answer your health questions.
So tell us, what topics would your family like to hear about? What questions do you have?
Use the handy feedback form on our Time for Kids page to share what matters most to your family's health. And together,
let's take time for kids.
Your eyes are everything. They're how you see the world and connect with others. At Shopko Optical, your eyes are everything to us too, which is why we offer everything to help you see better and look better. A huge selection of designer frames, convenient locations, and experienced optometrists. We're Shopko Optical. You'll see. Right now, get 50% off lenses with the purchase of any frames.
At General Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is important to us. From keeping you cozy warm to cooling you off with the ultra-quiet, energy-efficient Carrier Infinity Home Comfort System. Plus, join our free home comfort program and keep your air conditioner and furnace running at peak performance year after year. Enjoy priority service and extra savings that really add up. Celebrating 75 years of providing award-winning comfort for your home. Turn to the experts, Carrier and General Heating and Air Conditioning.
Is your credit score getting in the way of the things you want to do? Personal loans through NetCredit offer fast and flexible lending. Borrow up to $10,000 and choose repayment terms that work for you. You may even be able to build your credit history as you repay. NetCredit, a more personal loan.
At JP Morgan, the only definition of wealth that matters is yours. It can be a smaller house, but a bigger nest egg, a goal to work toward, or the freedom to walk away. With 200 years of experience, personalized advice, and commission-free trades on an award-winning app, we're working for you. Planning, investing, advice. JP Morgan Wealth Management.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Yee, classic beef and cheddar hot. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
Pick up this month's Madison Magazine to celebrate our 40th annual Best of Madison winners. Get to know Forward Madison FC's colorful head coach. And visit Jefferson County food stands for a taste of summer. Madison Magazine on newsstands now. Congratulations to Madison Magazine for earning top industry honors for outstanding journalism and design, including the coveted prize for general excellence in the 36th Annual National City and Regional Magazine Awards.
We've got a lot of news to cover tonight. President Biden defends his decision to withdraw U.S. troops out of Afghanistan. What does the Taliban takeover mean for American national security and for the women of Afghanistan? Plus, the new safety investigation into Tesla's autopilot software. We've got that and more coming up right here on the CBS Evening News.
Let's go back to Dana. Final check of the forecast.
Partly sunny skies sticking with us for the next few days, but we are going to see a little bit of an uptick in our humidity. A little more humid for Tuesday, humid outside Wednesday and Thursday. That means highs will be in the mid-80s, but heat index readings will be in the upper 80s, close to 90. A chance for showers and thunderstorms will build in late Friday and stick with us into early Saturday. Behind that system, it does look like our afternoon highs will fall back to the low 80s through the weekend and the start of next week. A few more rain chances starting to build in for the middle of next week, but it doesn't look like any big rainmakers expected to arrive, and no big jumps or drops in our temperature swing in that 10-day.
All right, Dana, thank you. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell is next. Stay tuned.